Eddie, we know who Stephen Hawking is, but we maybe don't know so much about him, his background. How much did your perception of him as a man, as a scientist, but as a man, change?
I'm embarrassed to say I knew pretty little when I started. I knew that he was an astronomer, I knew that he had this iconic voice and this that he was in a wheelchair and that he worked on things to do with black hole theory, but frankly I knew very little. So virtually every aspect of this story was a revelation, but particularly this formidable and complicated love story that was at the center of his early life.
In terms of your preparation, 5 months, right? I think it was.
Yeah, 4 or 5 months, yeah.
How much did you have to do going into this? It looks like it was an incredibly difficult task.
It was quite a lot because there were various aspects of the performance. So I had to educate myself on the science, having given up science when I was about 12, so that was pretty testing for me. Also, I went to an ALS clinic in London and for many months met not only the specialists there, but the specific people suffering from the disease and hearing about their lives. But then I worked with a dancer to try and find the physicality in my own body, and then finally meeting Stephen and Jane. And
Stephen himself came on set, and he made quite an entrance.
Yeah, he made it. Was a great. We were shooting this May Ball scene, and so it was nighttime, and there was the production had some fireworks, but they only had a few takes of it, so everyone was the stakes were quite high because fireworks are quite expensive, and then on cue, Stephen arrived. And his famous silhouette, he in his chair, flanked by his nurses, and he was uplit by the computer screen, so spotlight on his face. And then literally on cue, the fireworks went off, and it was I think it was probably the greatest entrance I've ever seen.
We heard a lot about ALS with the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Yeah.
I think you did one too.
I did indeed, yeah.
This also helps people understand a little bit more about what it's like. People are humans at the end of the day.
I hope so. For me, the Ice Bucket Challenge, was an amazing thing. A few people were cynical, going, all these celebrities doing that. As far as I'm concerned, there's not enough investment into finding a cure for ALS. It's been around for a long time, and people are struggling to get any closer. Any form of fundraising for it, for me, is a wonderful thing. But I hope that this film, for those people who've gone, oh, ALS, what is it exactly? I hope this film really shows the emotional toll it has on a family.
Felicity, we learn a lot about Stephen Hawking in this movie, but we also learn so much about Jane Hawking, his wife.
When I sat down and read the script, I thought, immediately this isn't a straightforward biopic. This is about a phenomenal love story, and this extraordinary female character who had this strength, this core determination, never giving up, never having self-pity, but also having this extraordinary love and vulnerability. And I thought there was something really special in being able to play someone who had that both sides of their character.
She's an amazing character on screen, but she's a real life, and she came on set.
Yes, so I met Jane. I'd already started the preparation. I'd read the book that she'd written. It's very detailed about her life with Stephen and her own academic life. And so when I met her, immediately I thought, you're extraordinary that she managed to play all these different roles, trying to balance being a wife and a mother and have a career. And I wanted to bow down to her, and she just welcomed all of us into her life.
You just wonder, though, she was with him for so many years, went through so much with him. How strong, where her strength came from? Where do you think her strength came from?
That's a good question. I think she had such a inner strength from a really young age. I think it was part of her character, even she had a very strong belief system that you commit to things, that you have beliefs, that you have ideals. And Jane had that very early on. It was very particular to her. And she's not someone who, she's not weak.
What did you learn about Stephen Hawking himself that you're taking with you from this movie?
Oh, well, his capacity to live every second of his life as fully as possible. That was the thing that, he is someone that lives passionately with wit, humour, mischief, and that was just it's a great way to look at the world and to try and live.
That mischief comes out, it's great.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you so much,
Thank
and
you.
the charm and everything.
Oh, thanks so much.
Thanks so much, you did an awesome job.